You call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you. That little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be that.
I don't give
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Welcome. Smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm coming at you with 5. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Shout out to all my people on Instagram, Rumble, and X, as well as ScrewTube. If you're watching there, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk live about this matter in a minute. We're going to discuss this. So I call it trash supporting trash. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our topic for today. So the video you saw was apparently of this ugly ass Neanderthal by the name of Shiloh Hendrix, who, as you saw from the video, now we didn't see what happened beforehand, obviously, when she apparently called this child that, and I say apparently she did because she had said yes when the guy asked her if you called her that. She says, well, if he's going to act like that, then yeah. So I'm going to go by that and say that she did say this. But Shiloh Hendrix is a woman who was, you saw her even holding her toddler who's 18 months old. Now, that's on the internet for the rest of her life. When her child gets older, that's a shame. And hopefully the child doesn't grow up to be a scumbag like her. And I don't know the lady, but judging by what I'm seeing from the woman, it's nothing much to go by. The fact that she was holding her child, her infant child, and was using all of those swear words on a playground with kids speaks volumes into who she is. Now, what you see in People magazine, it's titled "That Woman Who Appeared to Hurl a Racial Slur at a Child" in a viral video that she's raised over $600,000 in donations for herself. So Shiloh Hendrix, who appeared to hurl a racial slur at a black child. Child is from my understanding. Sounds like the child is. I want to say he's from one of the African nations because the guy who was reporting it, Omar, his name is Sharmake Omar. I believe he is from, and I'm sorry if I get your nationality incorrect, but somewhere I read, and I believe it was on NBC News, I think he might be from one of the Eastern African countries, just by going off his name and I speak, because he had an accent on him, so I don't believe he's from the United States. But the child, nevertheless, is someone who's melanated, and I'm not going to attack a child, period. And apparently this started when she said that the kid was 5-year-old was going through her bag, her son's bag, and took something. Now this is a 6-year-old. Bear in mind, these are babies. These are 6-year-olds. This is somebody who doesn't know better. And according to what Sharmake Omar stated in the interview, he said that the child has autism, which makes this even worse. And I called it trash supporting trash because if you look at the comment sections that I've seen, especially on the New York Compost, see, I can't usually rock with the New York Post with stuff because New York Post, at their base, the people who buy it, primarily it's all in all, it has leaned towards being a Republican news publication for all intents and purposes. Just like media today it goes both ways. I feel like CNN and NBC and CBS, they lean too much to the left. Fox News, of course, we know they lean to the right. Media is supposed to be split down the middle. It's not supposed to have any favoritism towards any party. It's supposed to be neutral and report the facts. And if the facts are in favor of the Republicans, fine. If the facts are in favor of the Democrats, fine. Let us decide what we want and what's true. That's how it's supposed to be. But she asked for $50,000 in which to move because she says it's been getting hard. She's quote unquote has gotten death threats over the incident, and they're using it so they can move out of their home and so forth. But they've gotten all of these threats, and it's becoming difficult. But yet, they raised over $500,000. $500,000, and now, according to the today earlier, it was reported that the fundraiser raised over $624,000, and now the fundraising goal they're requesting has moved to $1 million. So she very well can get this amount now at $624,000 that she's already raised. For what? This is garbage. How you doing, DeAndre? In a statement to the outlet, the founder of GiveSendGo said the company does not endorse or condone the personal views or actions of individual campaign organizers or their supporters, nor do we control the motivation of donors. Now, this is the same site, if you recall, a few weeks ago when Carmelo Anthony, the black kid who was accused of stabbing a white, not even his classmate, was accused of stabbing him. He's on trial for, well, he hasn't gone on trial yet, but he's being accused of murder. And there, of course, they were upset because he raised, I believe we raised over close to $1 million in legal funds. And look, they did this with Dylan Roof. I'm not Dylan Roof, excuse me. Who's the one from Wisconsin that drove in the shooting? They've done it with him. Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, they raised money for him. They've done all things. So the city of Rochester, this happened in Rochester, Minnesota, by the way. They posted a statement on their Facebook post stating that the officials were aware of the deeply disturbing video at one of our city parks that contains racial slurs. The city of Rochester is firmly committed to fostering public spaces that are inclusive, welcoming, and safe for all residents and visitors. Spaces where individuals of all backgrounds can relax, play, and connect with friends and neighbors. This was a child. These are children. There's no hope for the world if we're doing this, if she's getting money for this. And this is trash. The New York Compost, of course, I'm not surprised. They are actually have their followers, their people supporting this stuff. Just look at this. Look at the comment section. You look at the likes to dislikes. Of course, the internet is home to bigots. It's home to trash. Someone wrote, studies show that not allowing your kid to go through someone's purse lessens your chance of a negative interaction with the purse's owner. His name was Austin Metcalf. Someone wrote, we're going to make her a millionaire. Of course. You're going to make her a millionaire. Someone responded, you can barely afford eggs. Someone wrote, they only consider their children to be children. Correct. Right. This is an autistic
child. Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay.
That
All
she
right,
was
that's what
saying
you
all
say.
of this stuff. You're on a playground. There are kids around, and you're holding your 18-month-old child. You're flipping the man the finger. That kid is gonna wake up and see that.
She was gonna deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
Now they're comparing it to Carmelo Anthony's situation. The difference with that and what Carmelo Anthony went through is that Carmelo Anthony has not yet been convicted. He is by definition presumed innocent unless and until the state can prove him guilty. You see, they always throw that in our face, especially when we've had these police shootings, when we had unarmed black men get killed. But when it's our turn to try and fight for justice, we don't get that benefit of the doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Never. Now, they're going to make her a millionaire. I don't doubt that. So, what's the solution? I'm not just here to rant about what happened here. I'm not just going to say what we got to do, what we're going to do. The solution, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to draw lines. You see, I'm concerned, Trump has released a lot of these animals out in public. Of course, they've been like that beforehand, but now with the advent of social media, everything is going viral. Everybody's looking for clicks and likes. They don't hide it, and especially in this age of Trump. And you know what? I'm fine with that. It is better to know an enemy up close than to be betrayed by a so-called friend from behind. You see, I can't rock. This is part of the reason, especially now, what a lot of people, especially voting people, they've talked about people that voted for Trump, blacks who voted for Trump. I saw CNN. I didn't see part of it, but Van Jones was talking to some blacks who voted for Trump, and they try to shame you into it. But you got to realize that's business. I look at voting and politics. It shouldn't be looked at as emotion. Every time you go in a polling booth, a voting booth, it's business. It's business with me. BTR. I'm sorry. Wait, hold up. I'm going to stop. It's business. That's how Bookie the Realist. Yeah, shout out to you, fam. What's going on? Saying you haven't commented in a while. I've been working and trying to get my health back on track. I never stopped watching your podcast. I've just been watching it overnight. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm glad hope you're doing better. You take care of your health. That's the most important thing. That's most important. So yeah, Trump has let these dogs loose. But like I was saying, it's a business. Like for me, I don't get caught up in emotional stuff. It's business. But I don't have to rock all the way with the Republicans, all the way with Trump on everything. That's not how it should be with pop voting. I've said that before. By the way, they had some elections yesterday. After we just had elections a few weeks ago, they had another election that they put in, and it was only like I believe it was a low voter turnout. It was only like 35,000 people that voted, and it was on a millage that passed to increase the millage by less than 2 votes. It passed. But a lot of people, I don't think, even knew about it because they sprung it on the citizens of New Orleans so quickly after we just had a major election. That's how they sneak stuff in because they know there's going to be low voter turnout with these things. A millage renewal that's going to last for 10 years. That was narrowly passed. Yeah, that happened yesterday. Yeah. It's good to see you, Bookie. Computer robots. Computer, I've been thinking about you because I know I was supposed to do this and I was supposed to get a paperback edition for my book uh, on Dr. Cosby that you were trying to buy for your mom. And I'm actually still going to try and do that. Things have just been rough. I'll be honest with everybody. Things been rough on my end. Busy with work and things, life that just comes up. It's not. I try and do my very best with stuff and try and follow up. I don't like procrastination, but I definitely want to do that. So I'm gonna post that. But yeah, man. No, it's something, a project that should have been done 3 years ago. I should have done it. Just money has been tight. I come on this podcast and I don't do it often. Only reason I do this, I don't get paid anything. My channel is still blocked, as many of you know. I'm shadow banned, so I don't really make anything from this. I don't know who's listening out here. I don't really know if I doubt my numbers are that low. I've noticed, and I've told you this before, when I'm on X, I actually have more people listening on X than I do have on both of my YouTube channels combined. I have actually a good number of people who are following me on Rumble, which is a good thing. Apparently, I love doing that. But, live streaming, of course, is tough when you have a 600-pound gorilla on your back, which is what YouTube is. It's a gorilla shadow banning, trying to stop you from doing stuff, and you seeing other people. And I don't like comparing myself to others because I do my thing, but other people that are doing well on YouTube for some of the stupidest pranks and all of this crap, and that's the age we live in. You're doing pranks, you're doing TikTok challenges, that's getting millions of views. You don't have to have talent. You don't have to have uh, a background or degree. You don't even have to have a degree anymore to be a millionaire. I went to college. I went to a professional school. I went to law school. And I'm still in freaking debt. Nobody told you or told us when we were kids coming up. They always talk about getting an education, but they never told you what are the ramifications after you get an education and you go to college. You don't just get that for free. You don't just come out the gate making six figures. You got to work for this. Same thing with, and even in the world of entertainment, that was something you had to work for. You had to have talent. Now it's not required anymore. You get likes, people like on Facebook or Instagram. You get a following. You can actually get booked doing stand-up shows. You look at Charleston White. This motherfucker ain't never did stand-up. Charleston White just gets Charleston White ain't. I'm gonna just say this. I've watched and stuff. He says he's a provocateur with a lot of things he says. But Charleston White has a following. People flock to him. And I'm not singling him out because there are others, you know. Uh, and I mean, look, they've been doing it even before the age of the internet. Like Judge Joe Brown told me, Roger King is the guy who actually created Oprah Winfrey. I'm not gonna say Oprah doesn't have talent, but they created Oprah Winfrey. Just like they create a lot of these rap artists who I think are shields to push agendas through. They're plants. That stuff is real that Cat Williams talks about. There are plants in this industry, no doubt about it. There are also some people, I don't think it applies to everybody. I don't look at things also from an envious standpoint, like I think this person made it and why I have it. Sometimes that crosses your mind, but you have to focus on youth, especially because if you're not talented, if you're not working on yourself, and you get called and get an opportunity and you fail, you realize it's all for nothing. You got a BSHA and getting low ball offers. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I had a political science degree. What? There's very little you can do with that. What? I can run for office, but hope you get in. Hopefully, a lot of people vote for you. When I was in law school, there was a challenge. They were talking about how they look for uh, the top 10th, the Cali class. That's what they call Cali when you get like the highest score in law school for a particular subject. The highest person. Yeah, they look at that. Law firms are looking at hiring the top 10. I just started and came out how I worked. I just started practicing as soon as I got my law license. Built my own. It's not easy. It was tough. And you're talking about dedicating your time to that. You get business by word of mouth. It's not something that happens every day. You had to hustle. You still got to hustle. I'm a hustler. A lot of people work in jobs they don't like. And now you can be a racist and say be an evil mean-spirited woman like this witch Shiloh Hendrix, and they're gonna make her a millionaire. Let me know in the chat what y'all think about this, because I'm done with this. Hell with her. Yeah, the the White Citizens Council is speaking up for. Y'all remember them back in the 50s and 60s, this White Citizens Council? Yeah, that was just the front for the Klan. That's all it was. Yeah, but y'all give me a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I wasn't gonna be a long show. I just wanted to talk about this, but hey, we need to throw money behind, find out who that kid is, that black child, and throw money behind him and his family. That's how you combat that. And let us know. And look, we got to have men. I don't know where the parent was of the dad. Maybe the parent of that boy was, but the parents, the mom and dads, we need moms and dads at these parks, black parents, black fathers in particular, men that are going to stand up, because she would not have done or said that to that child if I'm talking about a FBA father was standing there and heard that. Even a black mother, a FBA mother wouldn't have allowed that. But men, no, they wouldn't have that 10 times over. They would have checked her for that. Baba Yaga says it's in response to Carmelo. Yeah, that might have something to do with it, but they support their own. I don't doubt that. But like I said, they've let the dogs out ever since Trump got elected, and I mean, even before, when Trump got elected in 2016, I remember people thinking you get away saying what they want. Now, I ain't gonna put all of this just on Trump because racism has been around before him, but they've gotten comfortable, and it's gonna take a fist in your freaking mouth to realize you can't get away with a lot of the shit you think you can. Try me. Try us. Like I said, if the black mother was standing there and heard her say that, there would have been hell to pay. She wouldn't have done it. She did it because nobody was around except for that man that was recording, and he checked her on it. But a black father from the Ninth Ward, I'm just relating because I'm here from New Orleans or even Harlem, wherever. Compton, it would have been on. Y'all leave a link and y'all leave a like, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you mean by both sides feel that way, but I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Y'all can leave a like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the week. I am gonna be, for all of my people that are gonna be that are in the Atlanta area, I will be at the Punchline Wednesday at 7. I'm participating in the World Series of Comedy. So I would like, if you are in the Atlanta area, go right now. I believe it's Ticket Hub, and get your tickets. I'm actually going to post, hold up, I'm going to put the video up here so everybody can see what I'll be doing. We're going to have a good time out in Atlanta. It's going to be great. So this is actually, let me see. Yeah. So this is a link. You just go to VIPTicketHub.com, VIPTicketHub.com, get your tickets. You can actually be able to vote for your top comic. So it's a competition like the World Series of Comedy they do at these satellite locations. So I was going to give it a shot. I always want to go to the Punchline and do some comedy there. So it's going to be fun, man. So y'all check me out if you're out in the Atlanta area, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see y'all in the next one. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.